Greetings, children. Welcome to the online classes. This is Aishwarya. The following video is for class 3, subject General Science, chapter 6, measurement, part 2. In the part 1 of this lesson, we learned what is measurement. Measurement is the process that uses numbers to describe things based on what we can know about them. It is nothing but the act of knowing the size, length or distance of something is called measurement. That is what we learned in the previous video, right? Then we learned what are the different properties of the measurements. That is, we learned what is weight, area, volume, length, temperature and time. What are the properties of measurements? Weight, area, volume, length, temperature and time. So today we are going to learn what are the tools we use to measure things. Okay, now here you can see a weighing scale, a tape clock and a measuring jars. Now what happens is we use different things to measure different things, right? You cannot measure the quantity of water using a tape, measuring tape, right? And you cannot measure the length of the cloth using a weighing scale. We need different things which will help us measure different measurements. We use tape or scale to measure length, right? We use a tape or a scale to measure length. We look at our clock or watch to know the time. We use measuring jars for measuring liquids to cook food. We use a weighing scale or a machine to weigh things. So different things require different measuring instruments that are used to measure, right? We cannot see the clock and the tell the measurements for cooking, right? So in today's chapter or in today's video, we are going to learn about what are the different measuring tools that we use in today's life and what were the measuring tools that were used in the olden days before the tools were introduced or before the tools were made. What were the old measuring tools that were used? That is what we used to that is what we are going to learn now. So beginning with properties and their measuring scales. That is what we are going to know. Properties means the length, volume, temperature, weight and time. All these 5 measurements we are going to see. And what are the measuring scales? Measuring scales means what are the tools that are used to measure those things. First one we are going to see for length. How do you measure a length? What is the length? Length is knowing whether something is long or short. Knowing whether something is long or short is called a length. Now what are the new measuring tools to measure the length? Example, a tape and a ruler. Tape is used for measuring the length, your body length or your cloth length by the tailor. These measuring tapes are used. Ruler is used by you and me, right, to draw a single line or to measure the centimeters or inches. To measure the centimeters or inches, these rulers are used. Then what were the old measuring tools for the length property? For the property of length, we used to use hand span. Hand span means the measurement from your tip of the thumb to the tip of the little finger. That is the hand span. Then palm, one palm length. Then digits like 1 2 3 digits. Then cubit. Cubit means the length from your longest finger to your elbow. Okay, then a foot span. Foot span means this where the our body itself, where your body organs like hand and leg only were used to measure different things in the olden days. Okay, these are the measuring tools in the olden days, but today we have good proper measuring tools. So next property is the volume. Now what is volume? Volume is knowing how much space something occupies, how much space something occupies. So the new measuring tools are the graduated jugs and or kettles. Now here on this jug itself they would have mentioned, if you fill the water up to that length, it will measure of half liter, of 1 liter, like that. It will be already mentioned in that measuring jar. They are called as the graduated jugs or kettles. Old measuring tools were bushel. Bushel is like this, like these were used in the um, big houses. Okay, gills were used for measuring the kerosene or oil. These were called the gill. Then barrels were used to store water or to store different things, liquid things. Okay, these were the measuring to measure the volume. Usually we measure the volume of liquids. So these were the things that were used to measure the volume in the olden days. That is, these are the old measuring tools: bushel, gill and barrel. bushel, bushel. gill, gill. barrel, barrel. Next is temperature. Now this is something we use every day, right? Today, in today's life, we use it in every day. If you visit a shop, they will take your temperature and then only let you inside, right? If you're not having fever, to check if you have fever or no, they use the temperature. And what is the new tool used for measuring the temperature? The thermometer. This is a picture of the thermometer. This thermometer takes more time. That's why in today's places they are using a different kind of thermometer, where if they just show it to your head or your hand, it will show the temperature of the body. Okay, so this is called a thermometer. 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 It is used to measure the temperature. Temperature means knowing how cold or hot something is. In olden days, what used to happen is people used to say it if was hot or cold based on what their hand felt. Just if when you're having fever, your teachers or your parents touch your forehead or your cheeks or your neck. If they check your neck and they can tell if you're having fever or not, it shows how hot your body is. Okay, this was an old measuring tool before the thermometer was found out, before the thermometer was introduced. So now today's life everybody uses thermometers itself. Then to measure weight. Now what is weight? Weight is knowing whether something is heavy or light. Knowing whether something is heavy or light. What are the new measuring tools? Weighing machines and balance. Weighing machines and balance, these are the two different tools, modern tools or the new measuring tools to measure the weight of any substances or any man. If you want to weigh also, if you can stand on the weighing machine and check your weight. Balance means you to check the small things in the grocery shops and all, grocery shop or coffee shop. There they keep these balance where they can measure smaller quantity. In olden days, the example is pan balances. Pan balances, you have seen this pan balance, no? This was used in the olden days. In one side they used to keep the weight. Weight means small weight will come, stone like objects which will be of 1 kg or half kg or quarter kg. It will be there. They'll put it on the one scale, and the other on the other balance, the object for the measuring will be kept. If the measure stands straight, if the pan balance is straight equal length, that means they both are equal. So this was used in the olden days to measure things. Then the last one is time. Time, what do you mean by time? Knowing what time it is. Knowing whether something happened or will happen. We need time for everything, right? If you have to go out, you should know at what time you are going out and what time you should come back. So the timings is everything. So the new measuring tools for timings are clock and watch. The wrist watches are called watches, and the clocks are the wall clocks. Wall clocks, there are different types of clocks like wall clocks, table clocks and everything. These are the new measuring tools. Olden days what they used to do is they used to use this sundial or the hourglass. Sundial means now when there is sun in the sky, the shadow of that needle will show what hour of the day it is. Okay, that is how they used to read the sundial. Hourglass means in hourglass what happened, the sand which is present inside the hourglass, it will take perfectly the same number of time every time it goes down. Understood? So these were the old measuring tools that were used. So I'll end the video for now. The remaining part of the lesson I will complete it in the next video. And I request you all to please read the textbook, children, and please do the exercise in your textbooks. It will help you learn better. Thank you, children. Stay at home, stay safe, take care of yourself, and keep learning.